Welcome to Georgetown University's in Qatar Undergraduate Research Experience Project on Financial Education for Transnational Families. This set of instructional videos on financial literacy is prepared by a research team of students at Georgetown University in Qatar, and these videos aim to teach you why and how money can be better managed, and we hope that you and your families will find this beneficial and useful for your lives. Before we begin, we first urge you to think about a few questions. For many of us, because we choose to live and work abroad, we have been able to achieve a better standard of living for ourselves, if not our families. However, imagine if you had suddenly had to go home to your family, to your home country. Would your family be able to continue to enjoy the same standard of living that they enjoy today? Can you afford to maintain your current lifestyle and or that of your families with the income that you might earn when you return home? The main question is, would you have enough savings or returns from various investments to support your household? If your answer to these questions is a yes, then you've already done a good job of leading a financially responsible life. But if your answer is no to these questions, or if you're not sure, and that would probably be most of us who are working in the Gulf, then you need to realize that learning how to manage your money is very important to your family's well-being. We know that on average, most people who leave their countries to work abroad, even those who have been living and working in the Gulf for many years, often accumulate debt and return home with little or no savings. Why is it that for those of us who spend so much time away from our families in a foreign country and working as hard as we possibly can still end up with nothing? For those of us, the decision to migrate has helped our families lead a better and more comfortable lives. But the truth is, because many of us haven't done enough to manage our money properly, if we ever had to return home, maybe due to a job loss, a family problem, a medical emergency, or whatever it may be, our families will not be able to continue living in the same way they do today. There aren't also many jobs back home that would pay as much as is paid here in the Gulf. So you might find yourself asking, what am I supposed to do to better manage my money? What are the tools that I need to be using? Well, this set of financial videos on creating greater awareness with your money will help you make the right financial decisions about saving, budgeting, investing your income, and to show you that it's possible for you and your family to lead a life perhaps even better than the one that you have today. Thank you.
Migration means moving from one place to another. Thousands of people leave their homes and move to other countries in search of a better life. Deciding whether a family member should migrate or not is a big decision. It is important to have a plan in place before a family member migrates to a different country. If you have already migrated but did not make a plan, you will still benefit from working on a plan. In this module, we will discuss the importance of having a migration plan and how to make one. We will also talk about how you and your family can stick to the plan you make together. In making a plan and following it, it is very important to involve your family members. This should be done because moving to a new country and coping with that situation is rarely the decision of a single member. Communication plays an important role in keeping your family informed of your situation while abroad. Not surprisingly, many migrants seek to generate a stable income to support themselves and their families. However, there are also difficulties migrant workers may face before, during, and after they migrate. Families should consider the benefits of migration. In other words, what they can achieve as a result of migration. They also should consider the cost of migration, that is, what they may lose as a result of migration. Take a look at this table that contains some common advantages and disadvantages of migration. The advantages of migrating include earning income by which one can support their family back home. It also serves as a good opportunity to learn new skills. Another advantage of migration is the ability to save money for the future. This is particularly important for temporary migrants to Gulf countries like Qatar, which requires the migrant to return home once their work contract is over. The process of migration also has disadvantages. You might have to take out big loans to cover migration expenses, which will put your family in debt. Finding a job might take time, and once you find a job, the cost of living at the new place might be higher than your home country. Sometimes there are high expectations and pressure from families back home to send a lot of money. Migrating might also lead to unsafe and threatening work environment. Once you migrate, you are away from family and you may feel lonely. It is very important to compare the costs and benefits of migration. Keeping these costs and benefits in mind, make a plan that will help maximize benefits and minimize costs of migration. In making a plan, we need to set goals. In this section, we will discuss what goals are and how we can create a plan to achieve them. First, what are goals? A goal is something you want to achieve in the future. An example of a goal is to build a home, to pay for children's education, to start or expand a business, or to pay back a debt owed to someone. So, why do we have to set goals for ourselves in the first place? Goals allow us to have a clear picture of what we want and give us the motivation and drive to achieve them. Setting clear targets allow us to focus and measure our progress. And lastly, goals help us stay away from distractions by giving us a clear direction to follow. Now let us see what steps we need to follow to set good personal goals. The first step in making a plan is to set a specific goal. For example, instead of simply saying, I want to save more money, decide to save 10% of your monthly salary. The next step is to set an amount of time you will need to achieve that goal. For example, you could say something like, I want to pay back all my debts in 6 months. And the final step is to think about which goals you want to achieve first and prioritize. For example, if I need to repay money I borrowed to pay for migration expenses, I would want to pay that off first before I start saving up to buy a new TV for my family. When we are trying to set goals, we need to first think about what is important in our lives. Then we need to work out what our goals are. But in order to set clear goals, they need to be simple and we should be able to complete them within a set time. When we are setting goals for our lives, it is important to think about our family too. Our decisions and actions can have a huge impact on our family. So, when we are goal setting, we need to discuss them with members of our family that are affected by a migration and ask them what their needs and wants are. Even if we have goals that require a lot of planning, they can still be achieved with proper planning. For example, if we owe people money, it is best to repay our debts as soon as possible. Otherwise, the high interest rates can pile up and hurt us a lot more in the long run. Small payments each month can help out a lot. It is simply not enough to set goals. With goals that have to do with money, we need to have a practical plan on how to achieve these goals. This typically involves saving and setting aside a certain amount of money each month specifically towards our goal. We must keep in mind that every decision you take while abroad, financial or non-financial, can affect your family back home. If you are watching this video and are thinking about migrating, then involve your family in discussing the advantages and disadvantages of migrating to another country. You should actively involve your family in making a migration plan, particularly when it involves financial decisions. If you are regularly sending money back to your family, then involve them in your decision making, or at least the family members who decide on how to spend the money received. The family back home will benefit from the good decisions we make, but they will also be harmed if we take bad decisions.
So these kind of information we have to pass to them. We have to communicate what is our lifestyle here, what is our income here, what are the struggle we have. These kind of things they must know. That is very important. So the mindset will change.
Right.
The whatever money we are sending to them, from that they will start to save also. Suppose simultaneously the person is working in the Gulf, he will save. The person consuming his money, he or she, whoever it may be, they will start saving. It is possible.
Regularly communicating with your family on how you are progressing towards the goals you have decided together on is important. In doing so, make sure that your closest families know what you are doing, that we respect their opinion, that we tell them about the situation in Qatar, good or bad, and that your family knows what support you need from them, if any.
The other party. There's some views on that.
Communication is always necessary for whatever relationship you keep, whether it is in your official or whether you are going for a relationship, you need to communicate. Since we are, our souls are together, we are parted by distance, so obviously communication is necessary. So we communicate. When we communicate, we talk about our future plans, how we can tackle it. Again, it's both financial and about life.
It is natural to think that we do not want our families to be worried about us while we are working abroad. We may not want to share the details of our lives with them, such as our health, living conditions, or working conditions. However, not communicating with them can create more problems. There are many stories where families of migrants have unrealistic expectations about the amount of money the migrant can send home. They may think that all is well with your job or health, such that they will continue to expect a certain amount of money regularly.
A unique situation is happening in their home back, in their own home. Normally there will be so many people already in the neighborhood, in the Gulf. So they might be living very comfortably, very happily. They're spending a lot of money, a lavish lifestyle. So they are keep on watching this. They are dreaming a similar lifestyle for them also. The day one, a person landed in the Gulf, the family back home will think, maybe I can live the same way the neighbor is living. So they start demanding for the money.
But there might be times when you might not have enough money to send home. Here it is important to be honest with your family about your financial situation so that they do not pressure you to send more money than you are able to.
Since you are living very happily, did ever ask a question to your winner, how you are living in the back home? That means in the Gulf. They said, we never ask. They will not ask that question because when they are going on vacation, the lifestyle they have, the lifestyle when they are going for 2 months and all, when they saw, they feel he is living very happily, he has enough money. He is showing that kind of lifestyle. than 2 months.
Yeah.
So they may not ask the question also. But the responsibility is with us, expatriates. The expatriates must explain them,
Communicate, yeah.
communicate the family how I am living here and what is the lifestyle and what is my sacrifice to give a good life.
Communicating with your family about your condition in the new place is very important. You have to be completely honest with them, and you should ask for their moral support if things are not working in your favor. By keeping our families close to us when we are in Qatar, we can remain on track for completing our goals, and they can support us through good and bad times. You will also be able to make important financial decisions knowing that your family is supporting you at all times.